In a notorious case from nearly 20 years ago, a cop killer entered court wearing a strange mask, leaving his family and everyone present in complete shock. Esteban Carpio became a trend in mainstream and social media's platforms, bringing endless speculations and analysis to what really happened, and thousands of questions about the details of this strange case. Incidents of civilians killing police officers have seen a rise in the world for various reasons, such as drug abuse and mental illness. In April 2005, Americans woke up to the sad news about the brutal murder of Providence Police Detective Sergeant James Allen. The police officer was killed by Esteban Carpio using Allen's service weapon. The incident has sparked conflicting feelings among those who followed the story. The story is much like most others. Few say that something in the event swept to the ground or a misunderstanding of police coordination. So, what is Esteban Carpio's story, and where is he now? Esteban Carpio is an American prisoner born on the 30th of July, 1978 in Boston, Massachusetts. His mother, Yvonne Carpio, is a former teacher at Hennigan Elementary School in Jamaica Plain. Esteban worked as a barber before he was sent to jail for the first-degree murder of a police officer. In 2005, Carpio dated Sameen Pin, a former hustler with whom he had a daughter. The day of reckoning came on April 17, 2005, when Esteban Carpio was being questioned by Providence Police Detective Sergeant James Allen and another detective at their law enforcement headquarters. Carpio was being questioned for the stabbing of an 85-year-old woman, M Gatta, but his crimes did not stop there. When the second detective left questioning to get some water for the suspect, an altercation occurred between Allen and Carpio. The 50-year police officer was ultimately shot twice in the chest after Carpio grabbed his revolver, then died a short while afterwards. Allen was a married man and a father of 2 daughters at the time of his death. With the questioning taking place on the 3rd floor of the building, Carpio jumped from that extremely high height and attempted to elude police. But eventually he was captured 45 minutes later and was arrested and charged for the police officer's murder. At his arraignment hearing, Carpio made all the headlines for wearing a rather strange-looking mask, a shield to prevent him from spitting at the police officers. The mask was also intended to protect others from blood and other fluids. However, his family believed the mask was meant to cover up a revenge beating Carpio took at the hands of the law enforcement officers. Esteban Carpio's face was bruised and swollen, and his eyes, cheeks, forehead, and cranial region were all red. According to Detective Chief Dean Esserman's statement, Carpio's injuries were allegedly sustained as a result of his jump from the 3rd floor of a building and a struggle with the police officers. While it may have shocked his family, Carpio was forced to wear the mask because it was said there were concerns he would become combative. The mask really was a blast from the past, a spokesperson for the Rhode Island Department of Corrections at the time revealed. The department had used the mask only about 10 times in 10 years. Manufacturers stated the masks would typically be used when officers feared infection from HIV. A member of the Rhode Island State Police and state police detective who helped in the arrest testified that he had kicked and punched Carpio in the face 3 times and admitted breaking bones in his face. Esteban's family broke down in court, accusing the police of brutality.
Is being arraigned for murder. In the courtroom, his family is shocked to see his disfigured face.
Step off, step off.
Not guilty! Tell him not guilty! Tell them not guilty, Stephen!
Once proceedings had got underway, it was argued Carpio was under the influence of a psychosis, which meant he wasn't able to comprehend the wrongfulness of his actions. Just weeks before the deadly shooting, The killer was taken for a psychiatric evaluation by his mother, while his girlfriend took him to hospital after displaying concerning behavior. Doctors ultimately attributed Carpio's bizarre symptoms to stress and drug abuse. On June 27, 2006, a jury found Carpio guilty of killing Detective Sergeant James Allen and the stabbing of M Gatta. The same jury in the murder trial of Esteban rejected his insanity defense and was sentenced to life in prison without parole on the 10th of October 2006. He was also sentenced to 20 years in prison for the assault on M Gatta weeks before the shooting. Carpio had been taken to Faulkner Hospital in Boston for a psychiatric evaluation. Psychiatrists at the facility attributed his state to stress and substance abuse. In late 2017, Carpio appealed to a federal judge, arguing that the jury wrongfully convicted him. He alleged that he lacked criminal responsibility at the time of the incident, saying that he was mentally ill. However, his appeal was dismissed. Esteban Carpio is currently serving his life sentence at McDougall Walker Correctional Institution, a high-security prison based in Suffield, Connecticut. Carpio appealed the ruling, something which was thrown out by the Supreme Court in 2012, and then in 2017 a federal judge refused to overturn the serious conviction once more. Carpio argued his lawyers were ineffective as they failed to provide genuine arguments on the grounds of appeal. He also argued once more his mental health problems at the time meant he wasn't aware of the seriousness of his crimes. However, the judge didn't buy it, and the ruling stood. An FBI investigation concluded that he sustained his wounds from a combination of smashing through the window at the moment of his escape and the use of necessary force by the police to apprehend him. The investigation confirmed that the police did not use excessive force when handling Carpio. Let us know in the comments below if the excessive use of force was necessary, or it's police brutality, as Esteban's family called it.
But his relatives think the mask is covering up a revenge beating Carpio took at the hands of police.
It's gross police brutality. He was mentally ill, and he needed help, and we couldn't get it. We tried and tried, and he didn't deserve this.
There is no civil rights violation when injuries are incident to arrest. Meaning, if he's fighting the police officers, the officers have the right to use whatever force necessary to subdue the subject.
Thanks for watching Nest of Crimes, and please don't forget to subscribe.